Not gonna lie, this is a tough video to make. Let's review Shelby Oaks. Shelby Oaks stars Camille Sullivan, Sarah Dern, and is directed by Chris Stuckman.
Where is my sister?
What's up, guys? Welcome to a brand new 2025 review. Shelby Oaks is a movie that I've been following for pretty much ever since Chris Stuckman announced it. Been waiting for this to come out just so I could watch it, not even just review it. I just was very happy for Chris Stuckman and very excited for this movie. It looks like a mixture of like found footage with traditional filmmaking, and it does look glorious. It's a glorious looking film, okay? First off, before we dive into this review, I have to talk about Chris Stuckman's influence, okay? Because the guy influenced me to become a critic. I remember sitting in my tent in Afghanistan when I was deployed to Kandahar, and I first discovered Chris Stuckman. And he was very good at what he did and what he does. And I was just, I was like, man, I feel like I want to do this. And so 3 years later, I started reviewing movies. And Chris Stuckman's a really nice guy, really stand-up guy. I'm not like friends with him or anything. We had a little bit of a back and forth because he reviewed The Empty Man, which kind of inspired me to review The Empty Man. And that video got quite a few views for my smaller channel. And he actually shared my review on Twitter at the time, which was really, really cool. Chris Stuckman is a really, really great guy. I have to be honest, though. I did not like this movie that much at all. It's not horrible, and there's definitely some merit there. There's some really good filmmaking there, but my problems are in the story department. I'm letting the cat out of the bag. But there are things I do like about this movie, okay? So first off, let's give you a quick plot synopsis. Back in 2008, there were these YouTubers that were like paranormal type YouTubers led by Riley Brennan, who is the sister of Mia, that is the main character of this movie, who is searching for Riley. Riley went missing in 2008. I think it's just one of those things where her chosen career or her chosen hobby got her in trouble because it dealt with witchcraft and demonic type stuff. And so, yeah, that's the story here. She went missing. And you'll see in the movie, there's like a mixture of like a DV cam footage mixed with, like I said earlier, traditional filmmaking. And I do like that there's a mixture of that. And it is centered around the story. Sometimes in the story, you're going to see these ghost hunters, this paranormal YouTubers. Back in 2008, they didn't have 4K quality cameras. They were just using, regular camcorders. But like I said, our main character is Mia, who is her sister, played by Camille Sullivan, who is wonderful in this movie, by the way. She is a phenomenal actress. There's quite a few emotional scenes with her reacting to, finding this DV tape of her sister, one that she's never seen before. And boy, is she just turning on the waterworks during that scene, and you buy it. And then she starts looking into this town called Shelby Oaks, which was the last place that Riley was seen. And then ultimately, this is a story about a character trying to find their sister who has been missing for so long. And it's laid out like a mystery. She's tracking down the breadcrumbs, trying to put the pieces together. She knows that if she goes to the cops, that it's actually going to prolong the situation, and she wants to find Riley as quick as possible, which I can't blame her. If my freaking sibling was missing, I would want to find them as quickly as possible too. So let's start off with a couple of things I did like about the movie. Like I said, it is beautifully shot. It has quite a bit of atmosphere in it, which is great for spooky vibes. I think this is a fine movie for October. There are some creepy locations in the movie, like this penitentiary, which I think is the same penitentiary that they used in The Shawshank Redemption, which is one of my all-time favorite movies. And yeah, those locations look glorious. Also, there are a couple of really cool, shocking type scenes, which obviously I'm not going to spoil. One of them was in the trailer, if you've seen the trailer, but even that I won't spoil because some of you probably haven't even seen the trailer for this movie. And I think this movie is shot very well. I think Chris Stuckman knows how to put together a scene. He knows all the filmmaking tricks, the proper coverage, the angles. All that's there. It looks like a very fine looking picture. But like I said, the problem is in the story. This movie is boring. That is one of the biggest crimes in my mind that you can make in a horror movie, is to bore me. Do not bore me. And most of the movie really is Mia searching for Riley, and there are a couple of, like, I don't want to say jump scare moments, but pretty much that's what they are. I'm not completely against jump scares. I think they can be effective. But I think the quote-unquote punchline, I guess, didn't really land for me on most of the scenes. Look, when I'm watching like an evil witchcraft type of movie, oftentimes there's stuff in these movies that can get under my skin that kind of leave me feeling really icky, like The Witch. I think The Witch is flawless. Just the overall vibe of that movie alone creeped me out. To me, Shelby Oaks feels hollow. And it pains me to say this because I respect the guy so much, but it definitely just feels like a hollow movie. I think there's some good ideas in it, but I don't think ultimately it's a satisfying meal of a movie, right? Where pacing-wise, there's just something constantly grabbing your attention, be it the characters, be it just the spooky atmosphere of the movie, but just something really grabbing your attention, something making you feel. I do think maybe they should have built up Riley and Mia a bit more to make me really, really care. Even though Camille Sullivan, like I said, she really is a fine actress. And she really seemed like she was into the character, and this character was really loving her sister, but it didn't translate to the audience. It did not grab me. And I think when I think that's when movies are the most effective. Doesn't matter the genre. If you're wanting to get invested in a character and get emotional with the character, you have to be along for the ride. And I think I was just kind of checked out throughout most of this movie. And again, it just kind of felt boring. And I think some of the quote unquote scary moments sort of felt forced. Like I'm supposed to really feel uneasy with what's going on, but I didn't feel uneasy. And to be fair, I don't know. Maybe it's because I know that Chris Stuckman directed this movie. I don't know if that affected me or not. I don't think it did. I pretty much set everything, my expectations, my knowledge of Chris Stuckman out of my head, and I just wanted to sit down and watch a good, creepy movie. And I do think once you get to the last act, it sort of feels like rushed. So man, again, this really pains me, but unfortunately, I got to give Shelby Oaks a 2 hours lost. And I hate to do that because I thought for sure that I was going to really, really dig this movie. But I will say, Chris Stuckman's still a very competent filmmaker, and I'm still curious to see what he can put out next, because I see the potential. There's potential in this movie, but it just did not, I guess, follow through for me, right? It didn't deliver the goods, and that's what I really wanted. So yeah, that's my review for Shelby Oaks, guys. I'm hoping you guys get out though and support this. This is an independent type of film, and you know, I think movies, they need the audience these days. So yeah, I'd still say get out there and check this out, because maybe this will resonate with some of you guys, okay? Also, be sure to check out the second channel, Drumdums Xtra, where I'll have my like clips, and I'll have like horror news and other stuff outside of new release reviews. Follow me on Patreon, become a channel member. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and Drumdum out.